Hey loves, welcome back to a new video. This is a highly requested video and I'm glad it's finally here. Disclaimer, okay, this is not a no makeup look. This is a makeup look. Okay, so let's get straight into it. First things first, I'm going to get rid of some eyebrow hairs so that the concealer can glide on my skin very well when I'm concealing the brows. So that's what I typically would do if my brows are a little bit too overgrown. I go in with my NYX brow glue. This doesn't do the work very well for me, if I'm being very honest, because I have to go in with it so many times before the brow actually lies and then stays. But we'll make do because I've bought it because of TikTok, so I must use it. Okay. And oh, I'll put all the products I use on the screen so you don't have to worry about that, and I'll also provide a list of all the products in the description box in case you're interested. But you can just use an equivalent of these products that you have. Sometimes it's just the technique that matters. So I'm going to clean up all that I did. This is a wet wipe. This is not just a tissue because the eyebrow gel can be sticky and it can make your foundation look weird around your brows if you don't clean it up. So I'm using a very firm hand to go in with a spoolie to actually let the brows lie where I want them to. And then I'll use the side of the pencil to flatten it again. It's a lot, okay? It's a lot. But stay with me. Stay with me. Next thing, I'm going to go in with my eyebrow pencil. You can use any eyebrow pencil you have. I know that because of my skin tone, a darker eyebrow pencil looks better when I do my makeup than a very light brown. So I like to go in with a very dark brown, not black, but dark brown, to draw my brows. And I just follow the natural shape, as if I didn't just shape my brows just now. But I'm just going to go in with my pencil to draw my eyebrows. I like it to look very natural. I used to be really into very arched brows, but now I just follow my natural brow shape and just go with the flow. For the front of my brow, I take a very light brown pencil. This is actually a lip liner from Rimmel, but we'll get into her very soon. Just use that to make very light hair-like strokes in the beginning of the brow, because I hate it when my brows look like a block. Do you get it? So sometimes I even avoid using a pencil on the beginning of my brows altogether. But when I do have a very light brown pencil around, I like to go in the beginning to make some brow-like strokes. If I don't, I just mimic the brow lines with the brow gel. So next, I'm going to go in with my LA Girl corrector. This corrector is such an OG and still works to the T. Is so good. So I'd go in with it everywhere I have hyperpigmentation, around my lips, under my eye. Then I'm going to go in with my Fit Me concealer to sharpen my brows. This concealer is very close to my skin tone, so I like to go in with it on my brows. I don't like the very highlighted brow look anymore, so I like to go with a foundation that is very close to my skin shade, so even after blending you wouldn't even notice that I concealed my brows sometimes. Then I'll go in with the residue of that concealer on my lids, because my lids are dark just like my under eye. Then I'm going to take a brush that is a little bit dense but also pointy to blend all of that out, and then I go in with the same brush on the rest of my face where I applied my corrector. So in blending out the corrector, I try to not move the product around too much because we need it to take away the darkness on our face. But before we get into blending the corrector, I forgot to use a primer. Very good that I'm still at the corrector stage. I'm just going to use that on the point of my face where I would typically crease or my makeup would start sweating or anything, my T-zone. So around my nose and around my under eye. I don't take it directly under my eye because I don't want build-up of products, because we'll be using a lot of concealers. So yeah, we're gonna blend all that out. I'm gonna go in with my Fit Me concealer on top of that correcting I did. This is just to give me a leveled plain foundation, because I don't go in with foundation on my makeups anymore, because I feel like that makes me feel like there's too much products and it makes me feel like I've done a lot of makeup. The goal is to use makeup and make it look like you've not used too much makeup, okay? So after I go in with that Fit Me that is very close to my skin shade, I go in with my NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer in a lighter shade than the previous concealer. On other points I would want to brighten. And then I go in with my You Matter matte spray. I really like this spray. I think it's from Studio London. Then I go in with my hand fan to dry all that out, and I take this brush so it's a little bit fluffy but dense at the same time, and it blends out so good. So I'm going to blend that all out. As I mentioned, this look involved a lot of concealers, but stay with me. I'm going to take my LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Fawn. I love this concealer so much. I've been using it since I started doing makeup and it's still the best. So I go in with it under my eye and then around where I typically do my eyeliner for the lifted look, my forehead, my chin, my nose, and yeah, around my lip area where my nose meets my flat skin. And then I'm going to take that NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop, because that's a little bit darker than the Fawn, to put it on the outsides of where I put this concealer to blend it seamlessly into my skin tone. Then I'm going to go in with my new all-time favorite contour palette, the True Complexion contour palette. I go in with the darkest one, and then I go in with that everywhere I'd typically contour, everywhere I'd want to be snatched. The contour and highlighting technique, I feel this is something that there's so many videos available out there on it. So if you still are a little bit iffy about how to go about it, you can look at what I'm doing or just watch an in-depth video on how to contour and highlight your face depending on the shape of your face. So I go in with this everywhere I'd want to define the bones, and I go in with a lot of contour. This is a contour shade, but sometimes it serves as a bronzer for me too, because it's not very dark, it's more on the warmer side and it's not very cool tone. So I go in with it a lot on my forehead because I like when my forehead has that bronzed look. It makes my makeup look very good. The sun was playing in my face on this day, so I'm so sorry if the light keeps going away and coming, but it's going to be fixed towards the end of the video. I'm going to make sure I blend that all out because you don't want it to look cakey. Then I'm going to take a thinner brush and then go in with that same contour shade to contour my nose, and we're going to go in again with the setting spray. At every stage, setting your face helps the product to sit right and to just marinate into your skin. Okay, so I like to leave my concealer to thicken up a little bit because blending is always better like that than when a product is still very watery when you're blending it out. But if you already use a concealer that is on the thick side, don't play, because if you go and conceal, it might be a little bit too thick and it will stress you out. You need to know what type of concealer you're using before you try this method. Gonna dry that out. This hand fan comes in so handy. If you don't have one, you need one. And blend. I'm going to try as much as possible to not move the product around too much because, as I said, the brush helps the product stay on your face and not take it away like the sponge would do. And with blending concealers, it's always best to start on the outer bit and then move into the under eye. It gives you a very seamless blend and makes it look good overall. Okay, so we're about to move on to my second favorite part. I love bronzing, and the second favorite part is blush. I didn't used to be a too much blush type of girl, but now I know what blush does to my look. So I go in with this blush, which is actually a lipstick that I mixed with my powder elf blush. Like I scraped the palette of the elf blush and put it in a lipstick and mixed it up to get the shade I wanted. So I cannot link this product, but just use any liquid blush you can find that is very good with your skin tone, and then make sure you use that to blend between your contour and the concealer to just make them marry each other. Okay, that's basically what the blush would do. And for setting our face, I'll go in with the OG Banana from Luxe Pro Powder, and then I'm going to tap the excess off on the back of my hand and just set everywhere I put my concealer. I'm pressing the powder into the concealer first. I would bake, but before I bake, I like to press the powder into the concealer to absorb concealer before I go in with extra powder to bake that part of my face. You'd see what I mean in a minute. Then I'd go in with a little powder underneath my contour to just sharpen it a little bit. I realized it makes my makeup look 10 times better when I do that. Gives some definition to the sides of my face than when I just leave my contour to be there like that. I'm gonna take this fluffy brush to just brush that all away. It doesn't have any product on it, just using it to brush away all the excess powder in a very light motion. Don't press your hand, else you move the product around and end up looking scary. Next thing, I'm going to take my L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour Fresh Wear Foundation. I don't know what shade this is, but I'll obviously provide it in the description box. And I go in with that everywhere I contour. This makes such a difference. This L'Oreal foundation is a tad bit darker than me, but it has the perfect bronze shade I want. And I'm very generous with this, okay? Don't be scared, because you're doing makeup, so you cannot be scared of the product. You need to go in with the products before you can see the effects of the product. Then I'll go in with the bronzer on the side of my nose as well. This blush palette is from a company that sent me their products to test out, so the products have still not launched yet, but I'd say just find a good blush that looks good on your skin tone and just marry the bronzer you did plus the powder you set. Marry them together so it would look seamless, the transition from the very bright under eye to your bronzer. I'm going with my blush a little bit on my forehead to marry the brightness on my forehead with the bronzer as well. I realized that works for me. And then the OG setting spray. This is my favorite, that's why I kept it for last. It's a Maybelline Lasting Fix. This setting spray is so good. It keeps my makeup in place, doesn't move anywhere. The fan comes back in to dry everything. Then I'm going to go in with the powder puff I used to apply my setting powder with no product on it, still some excess from when I previously used it. Dab it on my hand and then put it on my eyebrows, because I don't like my eyebrows looking too shiny. I don't like the look, so that's what I do. Make sure there's no product on the powder puff, else your eyebrows will start looking ashy. And then we're going to go in with my Maybelline mascara. This mascara is so good, but it runs out in such a short time. I don't know if it's because I do so many layers, but this mascara is really good. I'm going with a couple of layers because we're not going to be doing lashes today. We're going to go in the bottom lashes as well. Then I'm going to take this palette from Revolution. I really like it. The contour colors in this is really good. I'm going to take the dark shade in it and then go in at the crease. I'm not going too much under my eyebrow because I just want to have the lifted look as I mentioned. And then I'll take that same shade on a thinner and very defined brush and then just put it where my eyeliner would go. And then I'll take that brush, wipe off the excess, and then diffuse the product I applied there. It makes my face look very lifted and nice. And then I'm going to take the Rimmel brown pencil. I think this is in Brown Pie. Such a good shade of brown pencil on my lip. I go in with that around my lips on my Cupid's bow. I make a line in between my bottom lip and make a V on the top one. And I'm going to go in with this NYX Soft Matte lipstick. That is a nude shade, and it's really nice. And I go in with this lip gloss I got from Temu. I don't advise you get it, so I will not link it. Just use any lip gloss you have. And then I did the finger trick to avoid having those things that will hang on your lips when you do your lip gloss. And lastly, I go in with a NYX lip gloss. So the first one I used was a matte lipstick. This is the NYX lip gloss in, I think, Creme Brulee. I'll check the particular shade and then put it in the description box. I'm going to take that contour palette and go in with that golden shade in my tear duct area and on my nose, under my brow bone. And yeah, that is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I love the finished product so much. See you guys in next week's video. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and leave a brown heart in the comment section below so I know you enjoyed it. Love you. Bye.